now listening to the greatest.
Hey, you know J. Ray got girls here going way, 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 way.
All right, we are now locked and loaded into the Real Talk Radio podcast with your boy J. Ray and my special guest today, my man Julian, another co-worker of mine at Cumulus Media. As you all know, I think a couple weeks before we sat down with JCast and talked music. Today we're going to talk movies with Julian, who's also a film head like me. And I think we met when you were a new hire. Was your first gig the Pride Parade? Or was it you had something before, but that's when you met everybody?
Yeah, that was like the big event where I met everyone there. It was pretty exciting.
Yeah, and Julian's pretty new, and then I think we kind of hit it off at another event, a couple of different events where we just always talking film, like film nerds, like, and I was like, one day I was like, hey bro, just come on my podcast, let's break down some movies and stuff, you know what I mean? And it started with Batman vs Superman, which we have very different opinions on, and we'll talk about that maybe on another episode. But today, we've decided to talk about Smile, and the thing behind that is, like I said in one of the earlier episodes, I had appendectomy. I had to have surgery. I had to have my appendix removed, and it was, it wasn't as bad experience, but the best thing about it was I got to finally sit down and watch movies and documentaries and TV shows again, which I haven't since I graduated from college, because it's just, college is a busy, really, really, really busy time. You know what I mean? Especially if you're a double major. So I haven't really watched movies in a long time. So I sat down. I think I told you I watched Joker 2, Smile 1, Smile 2. I don't know if you're familiar with The Negotiator with Samuel L. Jackson.
Kevin Spacey, right?
Yeah.
I've never seen that movie, but I've been meaning to check it out.
Dude,
1997,
It's crazy. I was like, I've never seen Samuel Jackson young. It's like watching Morgan Freeman in his early, you know what I'm saying? Early age. Like, it's unbelievable. I'm trying to think of some other big ones that I watched. Oh, Batman. Like the hype beat, not hype beats, but the ones that were hyped up when they first came out.
Yes, sir. Are you talking about The Batman or Batman 1989 with Michael Keaton?
Batman, the newest one. The one with, I don't know his name.
Robert Pattinson.
That's Robert Pattinson?
Yeah,
Oh, wow. Jeez. He looks a little different. What other movies did he play in? Because I know I'm familiar with his name.
Twilight. He was, Edward Cullen's classic. That's how I think The Law of the World was introduced to him.
Yeah, I want to get into Twilight. I feel like it's one of those good series. Is it good? What would you?
Well, growing up back in the day, a lot of people were crapping on it so much, and I admit I was a little bit part of that camp, but I have a little bit of a different story. So, me and my brother, we were really big horror fans, and we liked vampires, of course. So our mom was saying how, hey, there's this new vampire movie that's out, and it's really talked about, and a lot of people are watching it. So we're like, okay, it was Twilight. And going into the theater, I'm taking you haven't seen the movie, right?
I haven't seen none of them. I think, what is like 6 of them?
There's, I'm trying to think. There's like 5, because the last one was split in 2 parts, because they were doing that back in the day, like Harry Potter, even the Avengers, like, we got the last movie, make it 2, because we got a big story, or we just want to make money. Right, so, but yeah, watching the first one in theater, it was very daunting, because I didn't expect, vampires to sparkle, or them to play baseball in the thunder, and I thought it was going to be like a little more violent and intense, but it's, I kind of hate putting it like this, but it's more like books or like media like that women gravitate towards more. But I'm sure if I watch it again, I'll be like a lot more forgiving, since I like to think I've aged. So
that's usually what happens when the older you get and you rewatch a movie, like, oh my god, this is kind of better than what I thought it was when I was younger. I was looking for more action or something crazy, where I kind of like it now. The plot is good, dialogue's good, writing's good, cinematography is decent, some things.
Well, also too, it's like, you just learn to appreciate things for what they are, not what they aren't.
Yeah.
Which I do now.
Pretty much. And we'll talk a little about that with Smile because I have some opinions on that. Not too harsh, but what I thought going into it versus after what I thought of it coming out of it. So, all right, to break down Smile we're gonna break down Smile from a storytelling, cinematic, and thematic standpoint. And for you guys that have not seen Smile, spoiler alert, there are going to be a lot of spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie, I would suggest you pause this episode right now, go watch it, and then come back and talk to us. If not, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's me personally. But for those that haven't seen Smile or aren't going to watch Smile and just going to watch this episode and just go along with it. So Smile pretty much follows Dr. Rose Carter, a therapist who witnesses a patient's horrific suicide and is then haunted by an invisible entity that forces people to smile just before they die. As she tries to uncover the curse's origin, she spirals into paranoia, trauma, and fear. And just to add a little flavor to that, pretty much once the curse passes down to you, it mentally tries to drive into your brain and tries to drive you crazy, therefore making it more powerful, and then it kills you. Between 4 or 5, 6 days, right? If I'm correct.
Yeah, something like that.
So
kind of similar to another movie.
Yeah. Yep. Wait. Which movie are you talking about?
The Ring.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, but it's like in that movie, you get a videotape, and if you watch it, you die like in 7 days. So they're trying to figure out how not to die in 7 days.
So that's a perfect segue because did you think it was a psychological? Well, no, that was there's another question with a formula, but we'll get there. Did you think this was a psychological horror, supernatural horror, trauma core horror? Definitely
more supernatural than the other two genres or subgenres of it, I feel. You know, because I've seen a lot of horror movies, and I didn't watch Smile when it first came out. I only watched it when the second one came out, which we'll talk about later. But you know, when I first watched the movie, I didn't hear good things about it, like from my family.
Seriously?
Yeah. I did. Then watching it, I kind of see their complaints because I just did not feel for any of the characters or the situation. I apologize.
I mean, okay, we're talking. I'll let you finish. I kind of agree, but I'll let you finish.
Yeah, because you know, watching the movie, there was a good idea. I think, you know, the best thing is that the concept was really good for a horror movie. And I don't know if you remember seeing the advertisements or commercials for it, but it's pretty effective. It got your attention. And, you know, you think when you see that, the movie will live up to all of that.
Yeah.
To me, it does not.
Yeah. So you didn't, so you somewhat liked it, the movie overall.
No, you know, it's not the worst movie I've ever seen. Like, I could probably sit down and watch it
again.
And I don't know about again, like, if I like want to for like entertainment factor, but it's watchable, you know what I mean? It's not like angers me or like disappoints me to like a high regard. It just didn't live up to it. I think the execution just was not there for the story to you know, hold up its idea.
We'll get into that. But for me, I think it's like a combination of all three. Psychologically, it kind of, trying to think. I'm trying to go back in time and like really feel how I felt when I was watching it. Because psychologically, I wouldn't put psychological because it really didn't make me. I think the second one was more psychological than the first one because you couldn't tell what the fuck was really what was real and what wasn't. And that's what I was like, okay, he did a great job on that. So maybe supernatural and trauma core. The reason I say trauma core is because it is one of those movies where, you know, I'm very squeamish when it comes to gore. I got better with it because some movies, like I'm not really a horror fan just because most horror films are just a bunch of jump scares and a lot of blood. Versus I like movies like this with Smile. I think they executed perfectly was the way people died and the horrific scenes. Like when the girl smiles and she's like cutting her throat, but it's in the shape of a smile, like genius. I want to say even the cat scene. Like you knew when she was looking for her early in the movie, like, where's the cat? I was like, here we finna go. Some predictable thing. She's gonna find the cat and it's gonna be dead. And then like they don't do it immediately, but at the birthday party, They do it, and it's like, okay, now that's a trauma core, because that's like, and then now I'm starting to think like, is this real? Like, can the entity now like really touch, you know what I'm saying? Well, I know it could touch the person, but I didn't know it can touch other beings as well. That it isn't, diseasing or whatever the word, I don't know a word to use.
Diseasing.
Yeah, diseasing or whatever it's doing to the person, traumatizing the person.
Certainly.
So from that standpoint, I really thought they did a great job of that. I'm trying to think of any other, like when when she's having that dream and the dude, she's in the hospital and she's thinking about killing one of the patients to pass the trauma on. He's ripping his face off.
Yeah,
the doctor's
yeah,
those moments. I'm like, okay, and it looked real. It felt real as well. So I feel like from that standpoint, I really like that. I really appreciated that, because a lot of other movies, it's like, you can tell that's fake. Yeah, I think it's more of a supernatural thriller and a bit of trauma core horror. I like that it didn't have too many jump scares. Like, it wasn't solely based on jump scares. I hate when horror movies do that. I like when
fair.
I like thrillers. So I like that it was a thriller horror, in my opinion. That it was like, and we'll get into it with the cinematography, but I really liked the suspense.
That's probably the best part.
I love the fucking suspense. It's almost like Alfred Hitchcock-esque with its own little flavor. But we'll get into that. Sorry for the long spiel. Did the film deliver? Well, you already answered that. It did deliver on its promise. I think it did, man. I'm honestly, like I said, I'm not a real horror fan, but when the movie is better than what I thought it was going to be, I give it its praise due. I'm trying to think of some not terrible, but anything with Annabelle or anything Exorcist that really isn't scary, just has a lot of jump scares. I like it when it has a plot, thriller. It has some twists and turns, some shit that's not like, it's unpredictable and it scares you in a way. It's like when she's listening to the audio. I don't know if you remember that scene when she's listening to the audio in her bedroom, and then something whispers her name out in the dark. And instead of going to, you think she's gonna go see it like your average scary movie, like, don't go up. What are you doing? Why are you going towards the light? Right. She just closes her laptop, rolls over, and we see in the back way is the entity. Yeah. And I'm like,
that's what I do every day.
And I'm like,
I hear her and
I'm like, that's so real. I love how they did that, and I like how they didn't make it a jump scare. They just kind of make it like a shit moment. You know what I mean? I like the jump scares where, like, they just did a great job of timing and knowing when to do the jump scare, how to do a jump scare differently. Like when she goes to her sister's house and she tries to confront her about the entity and trying to tell her what's going on, and she didn't, put the dead cat in her, her nephew's box, and they have a fight and she goes back to the car. She's trying to depress, and then the entity comes out and then her just fucking neck rolls out, and that's just, bro, it's just, I don't know, man. Yeah. I just really appreciate when they get creative.
Because you're saying delivering on promises, which I always think is a funny way to say that. It
is, yeah.
Because, when you watch a movie or a commercial or a trailer, like, is there like a promise to be kept, and like what is like the promise there? Is it like a good scare? Is it like a good thriller? Is it going to be like emotionally relatable? So I think when it comes to certain promises, because I think the best thing Smile and evidently 2 is the best at is the cinematography and the editing. Most importantly, because I'm an editing lover, so I can always appreciate good editing when I see that, especially because nowadays I feel like that's overlooked.
Very much. I feel like editing, and I feel like writing and editing are definitely overlooked. Dialogue is so.
You were talking about the writing.
Oh no, not the directing so much. We always, it's crazy because we give so much praise to director, which let's be fair to them. It is important, staging and directing and being able to get those emotions and those realistic type feelings out of the actor. That's very important. But dialogue is so important. That's why, one day we're going to talk about the Dark Knight trilogy. That's why I think how a lot of people shit on Christian Bale. But I'm like, Christopher Nolan, the writing is so good in those trilogies that it just, to me, everything that everybody else is complaining about, I overlook it just because the dialogue makes everything so good. And one thing about, this is off topic, Christopher Nolan, he casted everybody so well that even when I watched the new Batman, it was good, but I was like, this person could have been casted better. This person, every single movie throughout the Christian Nolan trilogy was just perfectly casted. Like, there's no better Alfred. Arguably, you could say there's Christian Bale and, you know, the new guy and then the old guys. You can, you know, Kevin, what's his name? I see his name. What's the other Batman? The older, not the really old one, but
not the really old one.
Looney, or there's someone they said is the worst Batman.
Oh, George Clooney.
Clooney, yeah.
Usually, which I don't think he's the worst Batman.
Yeah, a lot of people say he's the worst.
Well, I don't know who would be the worst Batman.
Yeah.
I mean, that's hard. Like I said, you know, it's you know, when you're younger, you kind of like, you know, have these differences. Like, oh, you're like hardcore Bale or something like that. No, I just appreciate.
Yeah,
everyone.
I do.
That's the worst movie.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, but Tom Hardy, Heath Ledger, and who played was it Selena Powell? Or that was her name in the movie.
Oh, Selena Kyle.
Selena Kyle, yeah.
Yeah.
I just think it was just perfectly cast. Even Morgan Freeman it was just perfectly cast. Christopher Nolan's good for that.
Yeah, well, I do have a lot of thoughts, you know, about that too, because you know I'm a Batman fan and everything.
Yeah.
But
let's put it on the list. Yeah, let's put it on the list.
Yeah. So, but you were talking about good casting, which the biggest problem with Smile 1 is this.
Okay.
Bad acting, in my opinion.
Really?
Yeah.
I will give you that. Like, which ones though? Which characters?
Well, the one that came to mind was Jesse T. Usher, the boyfriend.
Yes, he was okay. I will agree. He was It felt like he was a Tubi actor in a very high quality film.
Yeah.
He did feel like a Tubi actor. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's strange because I don't know if you ever watched The Boys.
Dude, everybody keeps telling me. Not Jake S. Somebody was telling me about the other day. My friend Daryl, he was literally telling me about that when we did the other episode. And somebody recommended it to me like 2 years ago. It's been on the list for a long time, but I watched the trailer. I'm like, because I don't like things that look predictable or corny or just cheesy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially comedically, because I take comedy very seriously. Like, you know. But go ahead, my fault.
Yeah. So Jesse T. Usher, because he's on The Boys. He plays A-Train on there. And
is he a better actor on there?
Yeah, he's a better actor on there. I mean, I haven't seen him in other stuff, so I can't say if he's like a good actor or bad actor. But in Smile 1, I'm just like,
yeah, it was terrible. I think everybody. I'm trying to think who else. Now I think Go ahead.
Yeah, because it's like it didn't make me believe like any of the situation because I didn't believe that guy was. Or like her boyfriend. I don't see any spark in their eyes.
Because even in the beginning, you're trying to figure out what their relationship. I was like, is he a brother? Is he a roommate? And then you don't get it until he actually kisses her and hugs her after she drops the glass or whatever. Yeah, that was another good jump scare too. That the entity will do. Like oh man, like never mind. Because I'll get all on the space. I'm trying to remember okay, I think for Smile 2, what we need to do is like we need to really watch it, and I need to take notes and then. Yeah, instead of trying to remember, because now I'm remembering.
Oh, no, you're all good and stuff. I mean, I remember enough about it. Usually the bad performances I remember the most.
Who else do you think had a...
I mean, honestly, the whole cast. And I like some of those people, because Sosie Bacon, which is Kevin Bacon's daughter, is in it. And I have nothing
against... The sister?
No, the main girl.
You didn't like her acting either?
No, I'm sorry, I did not. And it's not because she's Kevin Bacon's daughter or a Nepo baby, since that's a big criticism nowadays. But no, and that was the biggest problem with the movies. Just like, I think there's a great idea in there, and I think the cinematography was there, the editing was there, maybe even the directing was there, but the actors could not carry it. And to me, it just made it feel like a really good story, but with B-movie cast and a B-movie director almost, which really, and that's why I can't say it's trauma core, because I think like trauma core, the acting has to live up to that, because it is very. I
would give you that.
Yeah.
You might be right. I might change my stance, because definitely from the beginning of, and I know I don't want to get too deep because I know we're supposed to talk about that later, but definitely from the beginning of Smile 2, definitely traumatic. Definitely traumatic. I think it was right before the not the opening credits, but the opening title comes on. You probably know that scene I'm talking about. I'm not gonna spoil it for those that want to watch our second breakdown. But that shit, I was like, and they sit there so fucking long. It's like, all right, next scene. But that's how traumatic it is. Like, that's one scene I will always remember from the beginning of the movie. So I'll give you that because I can't put my. Other than the very end when the entity enters her mouth, that was. Yeah, that was the other traumatic. And then when he disfigures her mother as, you know what I'm saying, when he gets big or whatever, but it's supposed to be the figure of her mother and he starts looking all crazy.
Yeah.
Other than those two, it really wasn't a lot of traumatic.
Well, it's just I think there is an attempt because clearly the story does want you to feel the trauma of the character.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's that moment of believability, and I just didn't believe any of the characters. Like I said, the boyfriend, I don't know, he doesn't seem that worked up about everything going on. I mean, I think what's the last scene he was in when he was fighting with her outside, like at night in the car.
Yeah, that shit I was like,
and his voice was also breaking, and kind of like, do you remember your line? Yeah. But yeah, I'm just like,
no, the last scene he was in when he called her, he called her for. That was a good ass scene too. We'll talk about that. God damn it, you remember that shit. Yo, Smile One. Why do you not like Smile One, bro? It was some good scenes. I barely remember
anything. It was some creative scenes. I can talk about that one a lot more because that was just a lot more engaging of a movie, and I think a lot of the elements were perfectly placed. And but yeah, Smile One, the acting was really.
You didn't like it in the episode, not in The Doctor. Now the sister, I would say it was in between. It was times where I was like. I know she's playing the bitchy blonde, but you know what I mean? Her husband, who was like, I think he was only in the birthday party and like the early dinner. I really didn't get a feel for him, but he really didn't, faze me. I felt like the doctor and the one patient that was schizophrenic, not the girl that passed it down, but the guy.
But the other one, that made you question. Yeah. He probably did the better job. In the movie. Okay. Because I believed he was insane.
Yeah.
But. Yeah, it's just the acting wasn't good, and I don't want to say acting is the most important thing of a movie. I always say, if you make a movie, a TV show, whatever, things have to be grounded, and that's not to say like realistic, like the Nolan Dark Knight movies, because I also don't like that, idea too. But you should always believe the ground that people are standing on. Like if you watch Star Wars. You have to suspend your disbelief that people are on a separate planet where there's aliens, stormtroopers, all this stuff. And that's very fantastical. But if it's good, then you believe, like, okay, they're standing on a alien planet that's out of this world. And for me, Smile,
it doesn't
not grounded enough. I don't believe the ground that they're standing on. I don't believe the performances. I don't even believe the trauma that much. Like I would like to feel bad for the character and everything she's going for, but
I think I agree with you on I don't feel bad for trauma, but the believable part, I get you. I had to kind of like zone out when there was bad acting. I feel like more of the supporting guys. I feel like she did a pretty decent job, only because. I like the transformation of her being normal, like in the beginning. And I like how they played on it too, because it's like, she's a psychiatrist. And I love that plot, that intimate detail of it, because, all her patients are saying, you know what I mean? Like this shit is going on and she's telling them no, no, no. And then when the entity gets a hold of her, now she kind of sounds like her patients. You know what I mean? So I thought that was great. Like that was a great detail to kind of put in perspective of the storyline, if that makes sense. So that's why I thought it was more believable, because she's slowly, and it's crazy, ironic enough, she's a psychiatrist, so she's slowly turning into exactly how her patients feel, and she's seeing how they feel from her experience now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, those people come to me and I'm just telling like, you're actually crazy, but I'm gonna help you be sane. Now it's the other way around when I need help and nobody's helping me. Everybody's saying like, no, you just probably need rest, or you need this, or you need that. No, motherfucker, I'm about to die. Like I'm going crazy. I know what I'm seeing is real. I feel it. The shit is touching me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I thought that was
believes you.
Yeah, no one believes
but it would be hard to like prove that. Right?
Yeah.
A lot of it like kind of. It's hard to put like in her mind, but it was real, but no one can physically see it.
And that's where I felt bad, because I'm like, damn, because what I was like. It's like you said, with the suspension of belief, you have to actually put yourself in the story and kind of like make yourself believe it. But the acting and the story and the movie overall has to make you believe it. The performance should make you believe it. So when I watch movies, I try to put myself in there unless it's just terrible acting, unless it's just terrible storyline, some shit's not adding up. But I did feel bad for her at the point where she was turning crazy because I felt I had put myself in her shoes in the part of the movie, and I was like, God damn it! I wonder how like I would feel if like how would I, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then it just so happens that the one person that believes her was the person that fell in love with her that still is in love with her. I feel like his acting wasn't too bad either.
I was gonna say one good actor is him, Kyle Gallner, who's a really underrated actor. Thank goodness he's getting more work because he was in Strange Darling. I don't know if you've seen that yet. Really good movie, and he's been around since like the 2000s. And he wasn't like a big actor, and he started out like in horror. They call him a horror king, like horror queens and stuff like that. He did a better job in it. Now I don't think like he did like a Oscar performance or anything.
But he played his role. Yeah. He played his role. He gave a little swag to it too. He really felt like the rebound ex-boyfriend. You know what I mean? Yeah. He played on that. Gosh. Yeah, I'm trying to think of more.
He seems stoic enough, like a police officer should be. So yeah, he lived up to his role. Pretty
much. All right, last 5 minutes, we're going to talk about, I think you already kind of touched on this. Was it original or formulaic?
So, well, you were mentioning you die in a certain amount of days, which I don't think there's like a set amount of days for
it's between it's sometimes within a week. They kept like I know the
it's more like how close
the first movie they like different people were saying different things like someone died in 4 days, like the guy that went to visit in jail said it happens within you have no longer than a week, and I think she died in like 5 or 6 days or something like that. And then I think the second movie he died on the 6th or 5th day. So it just depends, but you never last longer than a week.
Yeah,
you're not supposed to last.
So I wouldn't say it's the most original, but if you're gonna look at originality, nothing's that original.
Yeah,
anything, because another movie I really love that has similar themes is Midsommar. Love that movie, and I think the way it handles trauma in that movie is better, and also the acting is better because like you do believe like she is sad and it's breaking down and it's affecting her life, and I think Smile 1 tries to go at the idea like how trauma affects your life daily, but it just doesn't work. Like I said, I don't think the boyfriend really cared about her trauma because I don't think he would be acting the way he would. Even the sister, it's like, okay, I understand like some people get flaky with that stuff, and I think the second movie does a better job at showing that. The first movie doesn't have that, and if I don't believe the actors, I don't believe the situation, I'm not engaged in it, then it just kind of falls flat with me. Besides some like good scares and some good visuals, which I give credit, it does not rely on jump scares. But yeah, it's supposed to make me feel bad. I didn't feel bad.
Yeah. We already touched that, so I'm not gonna go on again. But I do feel like it's formulaic too. I know you said The Ring, and what was the other one? The Starling?
Midsommar.
I might need to check those out. But the one it reminded me of was It Follows. I don't know if you've seen that movie.
That's another one. Yeah, I wasn't thinking of that.
It reminds me and It Follows was. What do you think about It Follows?
Oh, It Follows is pretty good.
Oh my god. It was formulaic, but I feel like it was original as well. Like I haven't seen. Well, now that I've seen kind of Smile, and you're saying the other two. Okay.
Actually, that's a good point because a lot of people actually did say Smile was a ripoff of It Follows, which similar days. I don't think it's a ripoff.
No, but It Follows had its own uniqueness in a way like we've never seen it. Like the only difference, and I love the differences, was you have to have sex with the person. It doesn't just latch on to just trauma. It passes down from having sex with someone, and then the entity thing that nobody else can see but you can see. But I like how it slow walks and it forms of people like you don't know or you do know, and you can escape it, but you can't escape it. Like it's easy to avoid it more than it is to escape it. But once it gets a hold of you, which is like, I don't know how it could get a hold of you if it's so slow, unless you're just sleeping, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then it'll fucking rip your fucking heart out. But I love that. I love the music it plays when they're coming at you, the closer they get that It Follows. I forgot how it kind of, and it's so crazy, man. Man, It Follows was such an awesome movie. But I definitely thought it was original until I remembered. Yeah, It Follows is definitely formulaic.
Yeah. Well, I think It Follows a good movie to compare to. That movie works so well because I don't think it's a very detailed when it comes to thematic or like STDs, sexual transmission stuff. That's there, but I think it does work because the characters are simplistic enough and the plot is pretty straightforward. And formulaic maybe, but it works. All the elements are there. Or this Smile one, the acting wasn't there, so it makes the theme of the movie.
So your whole thing was from the beginning, the acting just kind of ruined it for you, ruined the experience.
Yeah, that was the biggest thing. And yeah, I think if it's trying to be more of a commentary on trauma, I think it does like a so-so job on that regards. Like, yeah, I do like how they portray the flakiness of people and people get intimidated.
Yeah, I forgot about
trauma,
that part.
That
the entity only goes after people with trauma. I forgot about that part. It only goes after people with trauma.
Yeah, or like that's what it's attracted to. Like that's what makes it stronger. So
okay. All right. So we're gonna finish the rest of this on part 2. I had a question before we go out.
Yeah.
Did you think she was ever gonna beat it though? Because remember when she lights it on fire, she goes outside, you think it, and that's the part that freaked me out. I was like, oh shit, the entity is more powerful than we thought. I thought it could just fuck with you here and there with inanimate objects. Oh, this motherfucker can make you really, I know it can make you daydream from earlier when she was at the hospital and she was trying to pass it on. But that shit looked fucking real, man. Like I really thought she defeated it. And then in retrospect,
she comes out smiling.
I'm like, what the fuck?
I don't know. I think it's like one of those things where you can't defeat it.
Yeah.
Or maybe in her head she did. Because maybe you can look at the ending like she did win because she was able to get past the trauma. But that's only in her head. So maybe she died in peace, but really the demon took over, which maybe makes it scarier. So. Yeah.
So we'll unpack more in part 2. I feel like this one was pretty good. We got a lot of her chest. I am so surprised. I did not know you didn't like Smile 1. I really thought, what's crazy? Every time we talk about a movie, we always have different ideas. But I think looking at different perceptions really opens the film eye sometimes. So I'm like, okay, wait a minute. He might be right there. You know what I mean? Yeah. I didn't see it like that.
Oh, just wait until we talk about The Dark Knight.
Oh, yeah.
You'd be surprised by something like that. And I love those movies.
Yeah. Okay, I'm 2-0 of convincing people that trilogy wasn't that bad. So I'm gonna see if I can get you to.
The which one?
The Dark Knight trilogy, Christopher Nolan's Batman, Christian Bale's Batman.
People are saying it's bad.
People agree with you that they don't like it as much, but then I break it down from the cinematic.
I love the movies. Trust me, The Dark Knight's like one of my favorite movies of all time, or somewhere like in my top 20. Yeah, I love those movies. It's just like when I've seen so many Batman adaptations, and like I said, I'm a Batman fan, so it's like you see the inaccuracies. Like for the first movie, Ra's al Ghul in the comics, he has a Lazarus pit and he's like resurrected.
So you're going off of the comics.
Well, not even just the comic, because I don't read too many comics, but like the animated adaptation, Arkham Asylum.
Oh yeah, you're a DCO, so you're one of those. Okay.
Yeah. So it's like different things, but it doesn't ruin the movie for me because those are still great movies. But yeah, I'm like, that would have been cool if they had that, because I guess I wish that movie embraced a little more. Well, I guess a lot of like superhero movies, they don't embrace the ridiculousness of this.
And that's what I learned too. I've been watching like different interviews and different like breakdowns of the movie. Like I've been watching Christopher Nolan's old interviews of how he talks about the movie, Christian Bale's take on the movies and take on like Batman and what Christopher Nolan was trying to do. And I realized, even watching the new Batman, I need to watch the older adaptations. But I realized it reminds me of Tobey Maguire versus Tom Holland versus Andrew Garfield. I think the same thing Sam Raimi did with Tobey Maguire was more of, it was a balance. Actually, he did a great balance, but he focused more on the development and the growth of Peter Parker versus Spider-Man. Versus, I think this new Batman that Robert Pattinson is playing, you start to see they're actually going to focus on the growth of Batman. Like, this is the young Batman, and you see how he messes up, and he makes these mistakes, and at the end of the movie, he actually loses, and that helps him grow in a way for the next movie, he'll probably be a lot better. He'll probably be a lot more mature. He's going to be focused more like, really balancing Bruce Wayne and Batman more than just focusing on Batman. And that's what I think Christopher Nolan did the opposite of. He focused on the growth of Bruce Wayne. Like Bruce Wayne, he started off, his background story was his parents died. He felt like Gotham took that away from him. So then he began to try to study the criminal mind. And then he met a Ra's al Ghul and kind of got this mixture of like, I want to do good, but then he thought Ra's al Ghul was going to teach him that until he figured out, this is what real criminals think of. So then he kind of uses what he learned from when he was in jail and what he learned from Ra's al Ghul and put them together to kind of make an anti-hero vigilante type mask. Then we go into the Joker, where he's kind of more of the detective. Like you see the growth of him growing of trying to figure out, okay, how can I leave the game? You know what I mean? And how can I be with my loved one? Like I want to still be Batman, but you feel me? Like when you break it down from that,
feel you. It's just, man, I want to talk about it so
bad.
bad.
Okay, but we'll get into it. I just wanted to
It's probably talking to me. We're very different topics.
Okay. We always getting sidetracked on this platform, but go ahead, shout out your socials as we end part one if you want to.
Honestly, I need to update my social. I don't go on social media that much, but my name's Julian. I'm a pretty cool guy. One of these days, maybe I'll make some handles and stuff like that. But I like to find you. I don't like people find me, or maybe another day. But
well, if it's anything else you want to promote, I love people to like come on here and just promote their whatever. If anything they got, you know what I mean. I know a lot of people use it through their social media, but anything you want to promote, like I don't know if you got a side business, side hustle, or anything, but if not, no pressure. No pressure.
Honestly,
all right.
No, I'm good. Not yet. I don't have a side business. So.
All right. Well, appreciate you for coming on here and doing part one. Y'all would definitely see more of Julian, as y'all know I've been fiending for these movie breakdowns. And so if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I meant to say this earlier in the podcast. Please hit us up in the Gmail, realtalkradio626@gmail.com. I would love to do some email podcasts, especially when it comes to movies. I want to hear your take on the movies, your takes on our takes. Any pushback, any agreements, anything. Again, that is realtalkradio626@gmail.com. Hit us. We're also on Instagram, real.t.radio, Real Talk Radio with 2 O's on TikTok. And I leave them with a little either question of the day, which is always unhinged, or I leave them with an inspirational quote. And for this one, of course, is from the great Christopher Nolan. And he says, everybody's situation is unique. And the one thing I've learned is that instead of copying someone else's model for a low budget film, you really have to look at what you've got available and see how you can tell the story you want to tell using the things that you have around you. And I think you can apply that to life. You know what I mean? A lot of times we look, especially with the day and age of social media, we look at what other people have and we got to get there. And like us filmmakers, I'm trying to check it out to filmmaker, but just what other people have in life. And then we forget about the little things we have in life, like that really give us that little bit of happiness that we just overlook just because this person has more of this, or this person has these people around them. And it's like, this person has 10 friends. Well, I got Julian and I got Jake S. That's really all I need. You know what I mean? So, and I think Christopher Nolan kind of hit the pin with that, and
that's a good quote.
You know, right?
I never heard of that before.
Yeah. So on that note, I think we're out. Goodbye, ladies and gentlemen. Till part 2.